Hey guys, it's Zeb Downs of Unioto Sport Podcast, Unioto Athletic Podcast, whatever. I'm kind of making this video in post to talk about kind of the delay on this video. It's absolutely my fault. I just kind of mismanaged time today, and I just didn't end up putting it out as early as I expected. Obviously, I had to shoot multiple times, and I had problems with GoPro footage being uploaded and stuff like that. But that's no excuse. And next time, I promise you that I'll get it out earlier. But either way, I hope you enjoy the video. I worked really hard on it, and I hope you provide criticism in the comments. That helps me fix it later on, I guess, when I cover other games. First off, I want to start off by saying that both teams played extremely well. Unioto and Huntington played until the last minute. It just happened to come off a play where, Huntington thought it was dead, Unioto thought it was dead, and Connor was the only one who kind of realized that it wasn't, That game could have easily gone either way if Connor didn't think on his feet and think quickly to do that, which, thank you, Connor, for that. Finally get us a win, right? Anyway, so starting out with the offensive analysis, there's not really anything negative to say, honestly, about most of it. There are a few dropped passes, but for the most part, Maddox Fox went off, absolutely. Had, I think, 143 yards. Quinlan Netter averaged over 8 yards per carry. And, of course, Newton was delivering perfectly thrown balls all night. And of course, I've stated my love of the offensive line this year. There were some struggles, but for the most part, they played pretty well. And, they did what they needed to. They played extremely well. The offense was not the problem. They put up 33 points by the end of the game, which in their previous matchups, they hadn't even put up 20 combined. So it's definitely a huge step in the right direction for that offense. So on the defensive side, I'm mostly negative. Well, not really negative, but criticisms. On the positive, though, I will say that Justin Wine led in tackles and that the defense did what they needed to do. 30 points were put up by Huntington, but at the end of the day, Huntington was a pretty good offense. They came in prepared, and they knew how to kind of expose that defense and use the gaps, which one of those major gaps was definitely the secondary, which I kind of noticed at week one that they looked a little shaky, but they were still playing extremely well. But sort of over the past 3 weeks, we've definitely seen them drop off a bit. I wouldn't say it's necessarily horrible in terms of a drop off, but they definitely need to improve that section of the defense. Linebacking. The linebackers this game, obviously without Matt Griffin, they didn't really struggle that bad, but they definitely, didn't play like they usually do, in my opinion. That's not to say they played bad by any stretch of the imagination. No, they played well. But at the end of the day, they just couldn't do enough to, prevent some plays that happened, right? Defensive line struggled with setting the edge. I noticed that. There were a lot of outside runs that went for big gains. And overall, the defense kind of, whenever there was a mistake on Huntington's part, kind of was like, okay, that's the end of the play. And Huntington would gain about 15, 20 yards out of it. So Huntington, of course, did a great job at exposing the Sherman's defense, I thought. So I want to start off this segment talking about officiating and penalties. Unioto definitely shot themselves in the foot a couple times and almost lost the game because of penalties. We had a couple of false starts and a couple of sideline infractions that were completely justified, and that, we can't excuse on anything. If we would have lost this game, we couldn't have gone around and blamed the refs, because at the end of the day, you have to be better. Penalties are adversity. But I would have to say the officiating where I thought it was pretty bad was no calls. That's just my personal opinion. There are a lot of plays I definitely could see a call going. Either way, both teams had plays where, there was maybe a hold here, a block in the back here, but at the end of the day, that's kind of the idea I got from it. There was a lot of chippiness too during the game that I thought should have been called for personal fouls and stuff like that. That was ignored for even both sides. Unioto had a few players that did that, but either way, I thought the officiating wasn't good, but it wasn't horrible. At the end of the day, the officials are just humans. So you can't really hate on them that much because everybody makes mistakes, and it's definitely a hard profession. So respect to the people who actually go out there and do that. I want to talk about that final play. Obviously, that's the big talk of the town. But I want to start off by saying that the officiating during that, I don't know if there was a whistle. I can't say for sure. I rolled back my footage and I didn't hear one. But that's just because I stopped my recording pretty much almost instantly after the ball was kicked and blocked. But I can say for a fact that it was a fair call. I think it was absolutely fair whether they blew the whistle or not, and I know that is pretty controversial to say. But in my opinion, right, they made the smart play. Huntington went off celebrating before anything happened, and I know that for a fact because as soon as the ball was blocked, they celebrated. That was it. So if the refs didn't blow the whistle, then, they were celebrating. The whistle wouldn't have made a difference. Connor, however, I have to give praise to him. I did do an interview with him on Twitter. If you want to go check that out, just go on my page and you should be able to find it. Connor, however, had the awareness and the intelligence to grab the ball when almost everybody on the football field didn't even think of that. So thank God for him knowing the rules. Thank God for him to talk to the officials and be respectful to them about what had happened, and basically save the game for Unioto. There's no other way to put that. And I mean, at the end of the day, whatever you think about the call, I think the most fair call was made because, you should always drop down on that ball. That's the rules of football, Even if you're in the moment, you're engrossed in the moment, you're excited about a win, you should always drop down on the football and down it, And, obviously now players from both Huntington and Unioto that witnessed that game, and especially coaches, hopefully learn their lesson about that. So I just want to talk to you guys real quick. Thank you to all the support I've gotten early on for this new avenue for me. If you didn't know, this is my second year ever writing. I played football my sophomore year, and I wrote for SVC Sports Zone my freshman year. And then I decided to go out on my own for my junior year. But I just want to thank everyone who's given me support, who's followed this page, who's retweeted my stuff. It really helps me personally grow my brand, But I do want to ask that people give constructive criticism, people give critiques, and also people praise. I don't mind that either. I just want honesty in the comments, and I want people to, if they have something wrong or they want something changed, to talk to me, because I can make that happen if I think that it's justified. But I'm willing to take constructive criticism. That's a huge part of this field that I want to go into. So I encourage people down in the comments, if I do something wrong, to comment at me and say, hey, you did this wrong, and I'll see if I can fix it. But either way, I appreciate all the support I've gotten so far. I can't stress that enough. I want to thank the Unioto football team for, of course, letting me do this and, letting me be on the sidelines to watch them and kind of bond with them more. But yeah, I just want to thank everybody who's helped this actually become a thing. I mean, this isn't exactly a dream come true, but it is a dream come true, This is like my life, and I love that. I have a connection with friends. I have a connection with students and families and players. It's this amazing thing. So I just want to give this little message out to people who have supported me. And I just thank you for everything. All right. So that's me signing off. Next time I'll try to get a video out and maybe even an article still. But we'll see. But I'll try to get a video out at least next week on probably Saturday, and then the week after that I'll write an article for sure, because I have to do something on Saturday. So that's just future reference to get you guys prepared.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's go.